Hey guys, so as you saw just there, that was just a quick little demonstration of how this machine works, and I'm going to be going into a little bit more in depth on how it works right now. And I'm probably not gonna. This isn't gonna be a tutorial on how to build it because, as you can see, it's really big and complex. But a lot of the pieces, I mean, it's complicated when it comes to like the movement of the redstone, but the different parts are really simple actually, and I can do a tutorial on how to do these simple little parts. For example, I have um what's a detector for the item rotation, which I'm pretty sure there's a faster way, but I didn't want to look it up. So this is my version of a item rotation detector, and it'll like give an output to each one depending on where it is. Gonna go into that a little bit more later. And then there's also a bunch of these things that I call Shulker Box Shulker Box hopper stations, which work off of hoppers, Shulker boxes, and pistons. And there's just a bunch of those that are built the same way, do the same thing. Um, but anyways, so what it does is you get to select what type of item you want, which these will correspond to the correct thing over there, and you can actually change these if you want. Just go over here and you change what's in this box or 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 that box. This one's redstone, and then I have a command block up here, which will be all this stuff will be in the structure file download. This command block lets it so you can like what you can do is you can copy and paste this, put it into like a Word document or something, and then hit Control H to replace all, and then replace like TNT with whatever name of item you want, and then you can just go like this, and then you just power it. And let me just show you right now. Right now there's like 3 stacks missing, with one extra because that's how the machine works. And if I power it like so, it will fill itself up right there for you, and you have to do one on each side. But anyways, so that is the items that you can select, and they all feed into this ginormous, crazy machine that I'll be going over in a little bit here. And you can also determine how many items you want. So right now it's set up, and if I go in here, let me build a little platform so it's easier. If I go in here, you can select, it says 32, 64, 64 plus 32, 64, 64, all that stuff, right? So just increments in a stack of 32, and you can select how many you want. You can change what this says by just breaking the item, by breaking the sign, but you can change how many it gives you by going into these dispensers, and you can take this shulker box out, and you can open it up, see that there's 32 stains. Say you want to do it stack of 16, right? Do that, gives you the shulker box with a stack of 16. All you do is you put the stack of 16 in there, and it'll give you one stack of 16. And yeah, so I thought that was really cool. It lets you pick how many you want and what item you want, and you can change all of this. It's all adjustable. And you can change any of these later ones as well. So you can do increments of 8, so like 8, 16, 24, 32, all that good stuff. And you can also send already full shulker boxes into the shulker in, and it'll just fill it in and put it in the shulker out as long as there's space. It may break the machine if there's not enough space, so don't put any full shulker boxes in there if you know how many you're putting. So try to make sure they're kind of empty. But anyways, so what happens is you click that button, and it sends a signal from I'm not gonna really, I'm just gonna, because I know where it goes, but I'm not gonna show the full signal. But basically, it sends a signal over to this stack of command blocks right here, which I showed in the video, and this right here. And what this is going to do is it's going to power this, and it powers it twice only because of a timing thing. So I decided to make it power twice just in case. But what happens is based on which one you have in here turned, so if I change it to here, you'll see that now instead of this block being up, this one's up. So these are being powered depending on which one, and it uses comparators and like a diagonal pattern so that it'll all work out in the end, which I can do a tutorial on how to make one of those really quick, but there's probably a faster and smaller way to do it, so it's probably not the best way. But anyways, so it selects which block based on where that's rotating. Then it sends a signal through the block powering this dispenser, which dispenses your little shulker box with how many you want in it. Then what it does is after a short delay, it moves this hopper minecart, and the hopper minecart picks up the item as it's going up this rail, and the hopper minecart is going to dispense it into this item hopper. And this is where there's a bunch of hopper piston Shulker box hopper timers. That's what I'll call them. I don't know if somebody already made a name. So what happens is you have this shulker box. It goes into the hopper system, and right now what will happen is the hopper system will detect when something comes inside, and when something comes inside, it will once it comes inside the hopper or well, it'll detect the dispenser. So once something's in the dispenser, first it's going to send a delay like do 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 do. It'll send a delayed signal, but we'll get to that later. Um, Such a mouthful. So once it goes in the hopper, it'll send a signal over to this system over here, which what this system will do is, and this is the complicated part, this is why making a tutorial on this wouldn't be too well, and I didn't really make these compact enough. What will happen here is it'll power this so that, and this will power itself back off, but it'll power this and so complex. So what will happen is basically all this complex stuff is going to just turn this piston off. Then after this time, it'll power the piston. It'll power the piston. It'll power something else. Hold on. So the piston goes off. Then after a delayed amount of time, the signal comes over here to the dispenser. So it detects the hopper, delayed amount of time, powers the dispenser, which is enough times for the piston to retract. The dispenser will dispense your shulker box, which will place it right here. Now, this is where it's a little buggy, but what happens is with the shulker box, it needs a block update in order for a comparator to detect that there is a item in the shulker box. So if it dispenses a shulker box that's completely full, and you have a comparator coming out of where the shulker box should be, it won't detect it unless you have a block update. So that's what this delayed signal is to send a block update through the shulker box so it can properly power this set of redstone. This set of redstone will just keep the piston off, which is why there needs to be some delay between this thing powering on and off, blah blah blah. It gives it enough delay so the piston doesn't like retract and destroy it. Okay, so now this thing will stay activated. This whole system will stay activated as long as there's an item in the shulker box. So as long as there's an item in the shulker box, these two hoppers right here will stay open. So these redstone torches will turn off, and these two items will remain. These two hoppers will take in items from the shulker box, right? So the shulker box is constantly losing its number of items in it from, say, 5 to 0, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it goes at a fairly fast pace. And while it's removing items, this thing is saying, oh, did this hopper remove an item? If it does, so basically as long as the shulker box is still there, it will power this system. This is the item giving system, and we'll go over that after we finish the timer system. But the item giving system works similar. It powers a specific piston, which pushes up a block, which allows the redstone to go through. And if this thing, or there's still items in the shulker box, what it'll do is it'll unlock this hopper here, which will start taking items out of this chest and funneling them into a thing over there. Okay, so it'll funnel items into this thing over here while this is powered. So once this loses all the items, it'll push the piston, activate the piston, and these things below will lock first. So the shulker box won't go into this system. It'll go into this system next to it right here, which is these three. So it goes into this one, and then into this one, and then into the dispenser. So when it finds it in this hopper, it'll power the dispenser, so it'll dispense it. Now, what keeps this piston from being activated and what it does to destroy the hopper is this other system where, so the items from, I'm sorry if this is getting confusing, the items from the shulker box here that it was taking the items out of, where'd they go? So they got sucked into the hopper and pulled down to this last hopper in the chain. So all the items are just kind of chilling here in this last hopper, and there is a max amount of count you can put that's 5 because hoppers only accept 5. So keep that in mind when you're creating how much you want to put in your timer over there. Make sure it's only 5 stacks as max. So they'll all congregate in this thing. So you'll have like a stack of 64. You'll have an item in here, right? So if there's an item in there, and that won't bug anything, so don't worry. If there is an item in here, this piston retracts, giving space for this dispenser to put a shulker box here. So essentially, first we have a shulker box timer emptying the shulker box, then we have a shulker box timer filling the shulker box. So once the shulker box is placed, this hopper will funnel the items into the shulker box, And to make sure that the shulker box doesn't get emptied, there's hoppers under it that are locked. So as long as the shulker box is there and there's items in the thing, the hopper underneath right here will be locked. Once the items are all gone from this hopper here, that means they've all gone into the shulker box. Then it'll power the piston, and the piston will break the shulker box. And there's an extra hopper here so that it can pick it up in case there's a block issue. Let me just put these back because I removed it so you guys could see. So then the piston will power it, and it will be pushed into this stack, and then it will go into this hopper, this dropper. This hopper will go into the dropper, and once the dropper has something in it, it'll power itself, which will shoot the item out into the minecart with hopper, and also the rail will be powered, so it'll go up here into the yellow system, and it'll drive across this line, and then it'll drive back. Okay? So that's how the timer works. Now to refill it, that's what this whole stack, this weird stack of not commands, this weird stack of blocks is. So when the when the item gets, when this thing gets activated, okay, what you might have noticed is this piston above it will be activated as well. This piston above it will push a block into this right here. It'll be in this position, right? So if it's in this position, you can see that it's powered and all the others aren't. If that's powered and all the others aren't, what it will do is it'll turn off, only this light will turn off. So since they're all on, that means that these hoppers here that the minecart drives over are all locked, so they won't take any items, okay? Except for the one that you selected. This stack of hopper will take the item that the minecart took, and it'll funnel into the dropper, which is how it puts the item back where it found it. So you don't have something that says 32, put 32 items in, which is how many glass, and it ends up over in this box. So that's how you keep it sorted and organized. And then there is a quick little detector rail, which will power these to push the block back down when it's done. I couldn't use sticky pistons with the block, if you're wondering, because there was a block glitch where if I have a piston right here and then it gets powered, it won't unpower itself. So that's why I had to do that. Now over to the item grabber. This is just the very end of it. It selects the block, I already told you. So what it does is it funnels all the items, any type of item that it gets selected, into this hopper right here. So if you picked 64 torches, they'll funnel down into this hopper here. Okay, this hopper, if it has something in it, it will deactivate the piston. Now, once the piston is deactivated, about at the same time, this hopper, which will have a shulker box in it, this hopper minecart is going to ride up the trail, and it's going to dispense a shulker box into this dispenser. This dispenser will yet again power itself and place the shulker box inside that area where you see the stone that I'm pointing at. So once that's in there, the hopper will start to fill the shulker box, and once the hopper is empty, so it'll have the hopper will be gaining a constant stream of items while this shulker box, the timer, is still there. So while the timer is still there, it'll get a constant stream, but once the timer gets destroyed because it's empty, the stream will stop, and then it'll eventually fill the shulker box with how much you're supposed to have. Once this is empty and it stops receiving items, what'll happen is it'll pop the shulker box, it'll drop into the hopper stack, and the hopper stack just leads back into this dispenser here, and it gives you your output. So that was a whole lot of words, a whole lot of talking about how it works, and it's just scraping the surface. That's how it works. That's not how to make it. But guys, thanks for watching, and I'm glad. I don't know if you guys want me to make more redstone stuff in the future. Just let me know. I'm more into command blocks, but redstone stuff is fun at a time. It's a little challenging, and it has similar challenges as command blocks. And so anyways, if you guys want me to do a tutorial on anything specific in here, whether it's the shulker box hopper timer, or which I might just do anyway, or the item frame selector, I don't know if this is a good way to do it, or if there's a faster way. I mean, if you guys know that this is like better than the other ways, or different in by a large way, if it's like really different than the other ways, then you can ask me and I can just do a quick tutorial on how to make this, but this one's a lot easier. Or if you guys want me to show a video on how to make the different hopper minecart item transportations, you guys can go ahead and leave a comment in the on the video, and I'll try to get to those as soon as possible. Anyways, guys, so the download for the structure file is in the description, and there will also be a link to the download for the world if you don't really like doing structure blocks and you just want to check this out. Okay. But anyways, guys, other than that, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you like this kind of video, leave a like on the video, and I'll try to make more like this in the future. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.